Okay, so let's look chapter 8, introduction to probability. So we are going to find out what is the probability of something happening or something not happening. So in the first place, we need to understand a few things. We need to remember that probability always have a value between 0 to 1. 0 means it is impossible, 1 means it is 100% that is going to happen. Probability of the whole thing, the whole event, when you add it up together, should be equal to 1. If it's more than 1, means you have calculated wrongly. So sum of mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive means events that cannot happen at the same time. For example, if you spin a coin, you get heads or you get tails. So heads and tails are mutually exclusive. VIP situation can only happen heads or can only happen tails. All right. So the probability of something is normally calculated on the successful outcomes over the total. Means how many times it actually happens over the total of it that has within the whole scenario. For example, if you have 10 coins and then if you want to pick the blue color coin, what's the probability? If you have 2 blue color coins, then it's 2 over 10. Okay, so relative frequency is the number of times an event occur in a number of trials. So it is a relative frequency. It's relatable to that particular situation only. Later we'll learn that as experimental probability. Okay, so first we learn what is a basic probability. Probability is when we assume something that will happen or we try an error. Then when we get a certain amount of data, then we can say that, okay, this is the probability of it happening. This is the probability of it not happening. Easier ones is we use a dice. Okay, a die, sorry. Die is a singular for dice. So when we throw it, for example, the chances of getting 1 is 1 over 6, chance of getting 2 is 1 over 6, chance of getting 3 is also 1 over 6, because there are 6 faces of a die. And then if you're going to get 1, it's 1 out of 6, so its probability is 1 out of 6. If you want to get 2, also same, want to get 3, also same, want to get 4, also same, want to get 5, also same, want to get 6, also same. Okay, so here it says that suppose a blindfolded man is asked to throw a dart at a dartboard. He hits the number 6 15 times out of 125 throws. What is the probability of him hitting a 6 on the next throw? So this one here, we're going to use what is relative to this particular situation. Not for everybody. It's just based on this person's accuracy. Is he true and get 15 times out of 125 times? This is his chance, 0.12. Or you can write 12 over 100, or you can also write 12%. This is how you write probability. Okay, then we have something called theoretical probability, like the one I mentioned about the die. When you throw it, you roughly know what are your chances, or when you flip a coin, when you get heads or tails, you know it is 50-50. So if it is a fair coin or fair die, means that there is not one-sided that is weighted or something, means it is not biased. So it is equal chance to get every single side. Okay, so an unbiased die is thrown, number of upward space is recorded. Find the probability of obtaining number 3. So six faces of a die, 1 out of 6. Even numbers, you got 2, 4, 6. So 3 out of 6. Probability will be 1 over 2. Treat fractions as fractions whenever you see a fraction. Okay, they are all the same. They are not something new. Okay, next is prime number. What are the prime numbers on the die? 2, 3, and 5. Also same, 3 out of 6. Then you get 1 over 2. Simplify it, you get your answer. A card is drawn from an ordinary 52 card pack. What's the probability a card will be a king? So how many kings are there in a deck of cards? 4. Because there's a king of spades, king of hearts, king of diamonds, king of clubs. So 4 kings out of 52. Then you can simplify it, get 1 out of 13. Okay, same thing here. Jason has 20 socks in the drawer. 8 socks are red, 10 socks are blue, 2 socks are green. Socks are chosen at random. Means you close your eyes, put everything in the box, ruffle it up, and then you pick one sock. What's the probability that it's green? Find how many socks that are green. 2. So 2 out of 20 is your probability. Simplify 1 out of 10. Simplification of a fraction. So 9 painters are assigned a letter from Hollywood, HOLLYWOOD, for a painting at random. Find the probability that painter is assigned letter Y. How many Ys are there? Only 1. 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, one other, 9. Letter O, how many O's are there? 1, 2, 3, 3 other, 9. Simplify, 1 other, 3. H or L. So we're going to join these two probabilities together. Means they can get H or L. So you can see there's 1 H, 1 L, 1 L. So you got total 3 letters, which is also 3 out of 9, 1 out of 3. Probability of getting a Z inside the whole thing, there's no Z at all. So what we're going to do is we're just going to write 0 because there is no number of Z inside the whole Hollywood. So it's 0 out of 9. So it is impossible to get it. Okay, next is probability that event do not happen. So let's say if you look at this one here, if I want probability of not Y, very easy. You just take 1 minus the probability of Y. Means everything else but Y. So I just take 1 minus 1 out of 9. I get 8 out of 9, which is probability of not Y. Same thing for probability of not O. I just take 1 minus probability of O. As long as it is not something, you just take minus the probability of this. The 1 minus probability of O is 1 minus 1 over 3. You get 2 over 3 is your answer. So that one is for 8.1.